Welcome back to Behind the Scenes here in the Creepy Crawler's Garage. Going to take a quick look what's been going on the last couple weeks here in the garage and on the channel. First of all, I want to say thanks, guys, for all the great response that I got for the first 2 episodes of Season 2 of the RC Shop. I really appreciate the great response, the likes, the comments, all the great stuff that you guys sent in on those first 2 episodes. I really appreciate it. And then I also want to say we are going to be getting back now to a regular schedule. We've been off a regular schedule for quite a while. So we're going to get back to a regular schedule. I'll be changing the schedule that you see at the top of the YouTube channel and that you see on the Facebook page and all that to represent the new time for the RC Shop, which is Monday nights. We had talked about this in the past, that we're moving it to Monday nights, which we have. The first 2 episodes have come out on a Monday evening, and they will continue so. And then we're going to continue to also get back on a regular schedule like this vlog on Wednesdays. Now, with that said, let's actually look at some behind-the-scenes stuff going on here at TandemCTelevision, and most of it pertains to the RC Shop, starting with some new equipment. So if you guys follow me on Instagram and some other places, you probably saw that there's a new, I got a new gimbal in, and what I'm using is the Crane 2 gimbal. It's giving me, when you see the shots in the RC Shop episodes, that look kind of handheld. It's because they are handheld, and I'm using this gimbal to steady the images. I've gone ahead and put a DSLR camera here just as an example, so you can see how this gimbal works. Basically, I'm filming with my one camera I use to film with, and then I'll use this camera as an example. And you can see that it keeps my shots steadier. So now I can do some more dynamic shots from within the garage itself to give you guys, just a better, basically pulling the camera off of it allows me to pull the camera off of the tripod and give you guys a bit of a more dynamic shot within the garage. Also, I went to a different bulb in my soft cans, so I'm using these new LED bulbs. Before, when you buy these soft cans, these cheap soft cans off Amazon like I did, they come with the CFLs. I didn't really have the money to upgrade to a full LED setup, which is what I really want to do in the future. But for now, I've gone to just an LED bulb, and these bulbs work pretty well. I run 2 per soft can instead of the 4 bulbs because they put out so much power, and a lot of times I only am using 1 at a time. Like what you see right now on my face, this is just, I have 1 soft can coming in this direction that is lighting me with 1 of these bulbs. So I only have 1 turned on. And then behind me that's lighting the garage, there's 2. And then normally I would have a 3rd soft can over here lighting from this direction possibly, but it's just too bright. So I'm leaving that off, but I'll use that one a lot of times when I'm doing stuff in the garage to really light up something I'm doing. And in fact, when I had all 3 going with all 6 bulbs, this camera couldn't handle it, and it went nuts. So I had to actually shoot some new footage for one of the RC Shop episodes because it threw the color all off on this camera. It literally couldn't handle it, so I had to shut down some of the lights. I thought what I'd do is, not only I wanted to show you these couple things, but I think down below I'm going to list a lot of the equipment that I use so you guys can kind of see what I'm using. It's really on the cheap. The most expensive thing that I use is the gimbal. In fact, I think that gimbal costs more than the camera that's sitting on it. But if you're using a DSLR, I had to get the Crane 2 because I use a Sony Handycam, which is a little heavier, and so I needed something to support the weight. If you're using DSLRs or just like your sports cameras, like your GoPros or whatever, you can use a little cheaper of the gimbal because they don't have as much weight to support. And I also had a Patreon request for me to do a little video on editing, how I do some of my editing. And I just want to let you guys know, I am by no means an editing expert. I'm kind of learning as I go. Back in a previous life, I earned a degree in graphic design, and I took a couple courses on video production. This was back in 99. This is way back, right? I always call it my previous life. So I had a little background, and that was in, I think literally it was Premiere 1, right? Like it was way back there, right? But so now that I've started doing this stuff again, I'm kind of learning as I go, quite honestly. So when I come up to something that I want to do, some kind of edit I want to do, something that I want to make happen, I use what I call my research development department, which is Google. So I consult my research development department and I learn how to do it. So what I thought I was going to do, I had a Patreon that requested me to actually put a little editing video together. So what I thought I would do is do that, a very basic editing that I do, the things that I use, some of the kind of the tips and tricks that I use. And I'm going to make that available at Patreon. So it's going to be a Patreon exclusive video. Remember guys, at Patreon there is exclusive content that you can get for as little as $1 a month. In fact, here, watch this commercial. So if you want to see not only that build that you saw in the commercial there, but some other exclusive content and have the ability to request that content, like I said, this editing video that I'm going to do was per request of one of my Patreons. It's the kind of the thing I want to do, make it a nice community over there where you can request things of me. I'll ask things of you. What I'll do is I put Patreon only polls up. And so basically that's me asking of you guys, Patreons, what do you want to see? What do you like? What is this, that, the other? So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and go ahead and go check out the Patreon page. One other way you can support the channel too, and here let me roll another ad for you. So you can also still go support by, as you saw, buying merch. That's what we YouTubers do, right? We sell our merch. And it's a way for you guys to help support us, but also get something in return. So if that's something you're interested in, go check out the online store. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about here on the behind the scenes was, in the first episode of season 2, I had to expand my spray booth. So the spray booth I had over in the paint shop would not fit a full, it would fit a cab, it would fit a bed, but it wouldn't fit the two as a full piece like the Blazer body or even like the 4Runner body that we're doing for the shop truck. So I had to expand it. So I wanted to give you guys a little closer look at what I had to do to expand that. And basically all I did was use one of those plastic shelving units, set it in front, and then I have a bunch of express mailboxes that I kind of cut up and then formed to make the sides and walls for it. Kind of just taped it up. I mean, it's really done on the cheap, but it works. And in fact, you can see it still works because the filter in back, you can see is still pulling paint through it because it's clogged up right now. I need to clean it. So it really still works as a spray booth. Just on a larger scale. So anyways, guys, I wanted to give you a little better look at that. I know I kind of showed it in episode 1. I didn't want to drag on a long scene about it, but I wanted to give you guys just a little closer look at what was going on there. And I thank you for joining me for these vlogs, listening to me kind of ramble about things for a while. Thank you for joining me for that. Thank you for all the support with the channel. Thank you to my Patreons. You guys make this possible. And I will see you guys next week for another vlog on Wednesday. Bye-bye.